Rock music is more than the crazy guitar solos, headbanging sing-alongs, or defiant lyrics. Behind the glory and madness is a sinister undertone of mystery, from artists who disappeared into thin air to bizarre, inexplicable incidents. The world of rock is full of spine-tingling tales that leave us with more questions than solutions. In today's video, we're taking a deep dive into the most inexplicable disappearances in rock history. We're going to explore the eerie case of Richie Edwards, the mysterious UFO link with Jim Sullivan, and the mystery of the lost recordings of Jimi Hendrix. It is a journey in which music and mystery converge and reality seeps into the unknown. First of February 1995. Manic Street Preacher songwriter and rhythm guitarist Richie Edwards vanished without a trace. He was scheduled to fly to the US for a promotional tour, but never made it to the aircraft.
The night before the band were due to fly to America for a tour, Richie disappeared. 11 months on, he's still missing.
Instead, his car was abandoned on the side of the Severn Bridge, a known hotspot for suicides. But more to this than meets the eye. Throughout the weeks after he went missing, there were several reported sightings of Richie. Some reportedly spotted him in a bus depot in Newport. Others thought they saw him behind the wheel speeding through the back roads of Goa, India. These sightings served only to confirm speculation that Richie had staged his own death and lived on under a new identity. Richie himself was also a troubled character, long plagued by severe depression, self-injury, and anorexia. His morbid, moody lyrics and erratic behavior became a staple of fan legend. In one legendary episode, he carved the letters "For Real" into his arm during a live interview, cementing his reputation as an intensely mysterious and tortured artist. Despite his own demons, however, many people who knew Richie firmly believed that he would not have gone missing so easily.
A career of maybe 3 or 4 years, then they fade into oblivion and end up checking out dole checks in the DSS.
Legally pronounced dead in 2008, his fate remains rock's greatest enigma. Was his vanishing a tragic end, or had Richie Edwards staged his own vanishing in order to get away from the pressures of fame? Perhaps we will never know, but his tale remains to haunt the fans and sleuths everywhere. Brian Jones, founding member and multi-instrumentalist of the Rolling Stones, was one of the most legendary figures of the 1960s rock underground. With his musical genius and hedonistic lifestyle, Jones was forever overshadowed by his own self-destructive demons. On July 3, 1969, just 27 years old, Jones was found dead at the bottom of the swimming pool in his Sussex mansion. Official reports said he drowned after drinking and taking drugs, but several, including his own bandmates, believed there was more to the story. Suspicion grew when it was revealed Jones had just been kicked out of the Rolling Stones, fueling rumors of foul play. His girlfriend, Anna Wolin, revealed Jones was an excellent swimmer, casting doubt around the verdict of accidental drowning. Compounding the mystery, several witnesses claimed that Frank Thorogood, a builder who was working on Jones's estate, may have had a hand in it. Thorogood allegedly confessed on his deathbed to killing Brian, but no charges were ever made and the case was closed. To this day, the whole circumstances of Brian Jones's death are still not fully known. Was it an accident or something much more sinister?
Do you think you'd go the same route again as far as, now that you realize the demands that are put on you as a tremendous success?
I'd do it 100 times over if I could. I love it.
The mystery has haunted rock history for decades, with speculation surrounding the death of this rock legend. Connie Converse was no ordinary rock star, but her vanishing act is one of music's most bizarre stories. A folk singer who predates Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell, Converse made a series of haunting, intensely personal recordings in the 1950s, only to disappear from view. Though talented, she never made it commercially, and by the early 1960s had abandoned music altogether. In August 1974, Converse loaded up her Volkswagen Beetle, wrote to her family and friends, and drove off into the sunset, never to be heard from again. Her letters implied she was embarking on a new life, but she left no hint as to where she was going or what she intended to do. Years later, her music was unearthed, and Converse posthumously received the acclaim she was due. But by then, she was gone without a trace. Speculation is rife as to what became of her. Did she begin a new life in a new guise? Or did she suffer a tragic fate? Connie Converse's vanishing remains one of the largest mysteries of musical history. While her music today is enormously admired, the woman who wrote it is lost, her destiny as enigmatic as her music. Jim Sullivan was no rock star, but his disappearance is one of the most eerie in music history. In 1975, Sullivan departed Los Angeles for Nashville with the hopes of reviving his music career. His first album, UFO, contained dark, almost prophetic lyrics about desert loneliness and alienation, and encounters with extraterrestrial beings. The following day, his car was discovered abandoned in the New Mexico desert, his wallet, guitar, and all his possessions still intact. No signs of a struggle, no indication of where he could be. It was as if Jim Sullivan had disappeared into thin air. But here's where things get weird. Sullivan's album, UFO, contained lyrics that seemed to predict his demise. Lines like, "If I am lost, it's only for a little while," and "I'm not the kind to hang around," give the spine the chills in retrospect. Some even believe Sullivan was abducted by aliens, a theory helped along by the album's extraterrestrial content and his own disappearance. Jimi Hendrix is widely considered to be one of the greatest guitarists in history. His musical legacy has lasted across generations. However, it is not commonly known that there are unreleased Hendrix recordings that have yet to be discovered. Over the summer of 1970, a few months before Hendrix's death, he was busy working on a series of recordings as a sequel to Electric Ladyland. These sessions were said to be Hendrix's most experimental, pushing the limits of rock music into new territory. After Hendrix's premature death in September of 1970, some of these recordings went missing. Reels with long hours of unreleased recordings were allegedly stolen from his New York residences and studio. Was there a plan to profit from Jimi's death, with the intention of then selling the tapes for a neat sum? Or perhaps there were more sinister motives involved. There is also an account that some recordings were deliberately destroyed in order to protect Hendrix's artistic reputation from inferior performances. From Richie Edwards' sudden vanishing act to Jim Sullivan's cryptic disappearance in the desert and the mystery of Hendrix's lost recordings, rock music is filled with stories that defy explanation. Each one leaves a trail of questions, and though the truth may forever remain elusive, these unsolved mysteries add another layer to the allure of rock and roll. The music may never die, but sometimes those who create it leave us with more questions than answers. Will we ever uncover the truth behind these strange disappearances? Or are they destined to remain in the shadows of rock's untold history? If you enjoyed this dive into rock's greatest mysteries, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. There's more where that came from as we continue exploring the strangest and most compelling stories in music history. Thank you for watching.